Ready? Start. The actual reason behind the corporate debtors' strong opposition appears to be that the two emails dated 7/1/2020 and 30/6/2020 expose the falsity of its claim before the tribunal died. It had arranged adequate funds for meeting interest obligations, whereas in reality it had accounted for all appropriations by the financial creditor from sale proceedings of pledged shares as an adjustment towards principal debt. Therefore, in view of the facts and circumstances stated above, we find that the corporate debtors' contention in this regard is only self-serving, dishonest, misleading, and intended to misrepresent facts before this tribunal, and the same hence deserves to be dismissed. Issue 5 is decided accordingly. As regards corporate debtors' contention that the present application has been filed with the object of recovery, we do not find any force in the argument. Facts placed on record by the financial creditor clearly show that the corporate debtor has failed to stand on its own feet during the last over 4 years, and ESL Group entities have been undergoing severe financial stress as brought out in paragraphs 4.2, 4.3 and 4.11 above. Although the corporate debtor claims that it is ready and willing to pay the debt and revive itself, it is pertinent to note that it had admittedly not paid any money to the financial creditor since January 2020 against outstanding dues of over rupees 99 crore. In this background, reliance of the corporate debtor on the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court in Vidarbha Industries Power Limited within brackets Supra will not help to advance its case, because not even an iota of evidence has been placed on record to demonstrate that it stands any fair chance of revival. It has not produced its latest audited financial statements in order to substantiate the claim that the corporate debtor is in a financially sound position to discharge its debt obligations. The corporate debtor's contention that it does not deserve to be pushed into insolvency is thus wholly erroneous, unfounded, and not borne out from the materials available on record, and is accordingly dismissed. In view of this, we do not deem it necessary to deal with other issues raised by the corporate debtor disputing the debt and pleading of share, OCDS, inflated interest, etc. In view of above discussions, we find that the financial creditor in the present case has placed on record necessary evidence to demonstrate the existence of the debt due and payable by the corporate debtor exceeding the minimum threshold of rupees 1 crore as prescribed under section 4 of the code, as well as the default in repayment theory by the corporate debtor. The application has been filed in the prescribed form and is complete. The corporator has not shown that the debt in question is interdicted by any other law. The financial creditor has also filed a fresh affidavit of the interim resolution process IRP in compliance with section 3 clause 3 clause B of the code. The financial creditor has proposed the name of Mr. Hari Krishan Bokle, I registered insolvency preferential as the interim resolution process IRP to carry out the functions as mentioned under the code and has provided his valid AFA in Form B and also given his declaration in Form 2 dated 12/9/2022 inter alia stating that no disciplinary proceedings is pending against him. Therefore, we find that all prerequisites of section 7 clause 5 clause A of the code are fulfilled and accordingly we are satisfied that the instant application is fit for admission under section 7 of the code. That during the CIRP period, the management of the corporate debtor shall vest in the IRP or as the case may be, the RP in terms of section 17 or section 25 as the case may be of the code. The officers and managers of the corporate debtor is directed to provide effective assistance to the IRP as and when he takes charge of the assets and management of the corporate debtor. The officers and managers of the corporate debtor shall provide all documents in their possession and furnish every information in their knowledge to the IRP/RP within a period of 1 week from the date of receipt of this order and shall not commit any offence punishable under chapter 5 of part 2nd of the code. Coercive steps will follow against them under the provisions of the code read with Rule 11 of the NCLT rules for any violation of law. In exercise of the powers under Rule 11 of the NCLT rules, the financial creditor is directed to deposit a sum of rupees 5 lakh with the IRP to meet the initial CIRP cost arising out of issuing public notice and inviting claims, etc.